So guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I have the Soundcore V20i's. Very surprised on how good these headphones were, but we're going to go over a full review of this, of course, and I'll keep you updated on any changes or if I feel a different way later on, probably another couple weeks or a month at the most. So you have 8 hours of battery life, 36 total if you include the case. You have IP55. This has a sweat guard. You do have the option for full customization in terms of equalizer settings, and you do have your custom EQ also. It has a feature which allows you to actually change the lighting settings of the buds themselves, from pulsating lights to just different lights when you're playing music and things like that, which I think is going to attract quite a few people, especially for the price tag. If you can find it at Ross for this price tag, 24, not bad at all, but they're normally about 50 bucks. I see it on Amazon on average, so I'm thinking that's what they normally cost. In addition to that, you do have multi-point. You have full app support and a bunch of other features and settings and tweaks and things that you have there. But for right now, that's pretty much it. Also, I do want to say that it has 4 microphones, I believe, and 16mm drivers. And the mics are super, super clear. So clear that I had to do the sound section twice because I thought that I was recording from the phone device itself, but it turned out to be the actual microphones on the device, which I think is a really good thing. Like I said before, sound quality all the way around, including mic, is what you need in a headset. And surprisingly, this has it, and it's an ear hook. It's an open ear design. I didn't think open ear could be this good for this cheap, but it is. Anyway, with that being said, let's get right into this review and talk about all the features. Timestamps are in the description for anyone that wants to skip to the part they want to see, but I'm not going to waste your time. Without further ado, let's get it. So not much comes inside the box outside of the actually charging cable. I'm just going to put this to the side because there's nothing really to show you. You're obviously here for the headset. So on the back, you do have your USB-C right here. Unfortunately, they did miss a nice point where this could have had wireless charging, but it doesn't. Not a big deal if we're being honest here. And to be honest with you, the price tag will probably increase if they added wireless charging, and this is meant to be a budget device, so kind of keep that in mind. As soon as you pop these bad boys open, these are the buds right here. And I think that this is a really cool looking design in my opinion right here. You have this angle where you hear that click. Let me be quiet so you can hear it. You can actually adjust it based on your ear size. And even though this piece is pretty thick and chunky right here, I was a little worried initially that this was going to be too heavy and weigh down my ears because I do wear glasses and whatnot. But surprisingly, it works very, very, very well. The only negative I can say as a glasses wearer is that depending on the shaft of your frame, because I'm using these right here, let me show you. All right, see how chunky that was, the frame itself? Well, you know, occasionally when I use these, it's a little difficult to, it might lift my glasses up a little bit, but if you have a thinner frame, you shouldn't come across that problem at all. If anything, for the people out there that have issues with their glasses where it scrapes the inside of their ear, this rubber, your glasses will sit on the top of the rubber and it actually prevents it from scraping the side of your face. So this actually works as a deterrent, and I really like that. But anyway, you have the case right here where it says left and right. These are some really good buds, I have to say. And to be honest with you, for anyone that purchases this, I actually had these for about, I would say about 2 weeks now, and I was using them. And I was surprised that they were priced so cheap inside Ross. I would have thought like something like this would cost $70, $80, but the price tag that I normally find online is about 50 bucks, which is around the same price as the V30s. And this is just way better than the V30s. Better drivers, better microphones when it comes to just call quality, which I have a section in the description for anyone that's interested in that. This is a really good headset, and you're not going to go wrong with this. But, you know, let's move on to the next section. I could talk about how it looks all day, but the performance is what really matters in these videos. The syncing process for these buds is actually very, very simple. Just follow these steps right here. You're going to take both buds outside of the case. These do require them to be taken out of the case in order for the left and the right bud to sync to one another. And it does have this little ambient light right here, which I think is pretty cool, which is fully customizable. We'll go over that in a little bit. I probably said that earlier in the video, but I'm just repeating it for anyone that skipped this section. Now, I think that's enough time. If we go to the settings right here, I'm already in the Bluetooth. I'm going to hit scan. You're going to see the V20i's pop up. Once that happens, all you have to do is tap them. For Android users, it's going to ask you to pair. You just say yes, and boom, you're synced that fast and that easy. Now, multipoint is a tad bit different. You are going to need the Soundcore application in order to put them into multipoint, which is an entirely free application. I'll show you that in another section. But if you follow this for first-time users, you won't have any issue whatsoever with syncing these buds. So before we continue forward on the actual application itself, I wanted to give the light section its own dedicated section. So right here, if you look into the settings, let me just pull that a little bit closer. You have the lights on, flash, you have follow music and breathing setting. For anyone that's wondering what that is, I'll show you. Breathing, this is how it actually lights up, which I think is really cool. For follow music, every single time you play a song, the lights will change regardless. But the lights actually change colors based on the beat that you're playing or whatever song is playing in the background, which I think people that want that colorful aesthetic is definitely going to like the music follows. I normally use the breathing, but to each their own. You have flashing, and then you have lights on where the light just stays a solid color and it's on. Now, with that being said, you do have customization for that. If you go to more settings, you can actually make it brighter. You can make it lighter, the light part right here. As a matter of fact, you could change the color of the breathing to many different colors or anything on this color wheel spectrum right here if you choose to. And again, if you do follow music, because it uses the entire color spectrum, you don't have that level of customization, which I think that most people are probably going to use follow music because if you're walking down the street, you're going to be able to show off your headset. Though I will say safety first. If someone is aware of this headset and they see the colors constantly flickering very fast, they're going to know you're listening to something. So just be mindful of where you are when you're walking around whatever neighborhood, downtown, doesn't matter. Be careful. Of course, you do have the flash where you could change the colors of the flash to whatever it is that you want to that's happening right now. And lastly is lights on, which is basically a solid color. But I just wanted to give this section its own private part because it is necessary to show the perks of the headset and how it stands out when it comes to the actual aesthetic. So the music quality for this headset has been really, really good. A lot better than what I initially thought it was going to be, especially for the price tag of what I paid. The 16mm drivers, whether you're playing games on it, or as a matter of fact, whether you're playing music or just talking on the phone or listening to a podcast, there's a setting for everything, especially when it comes to the equalizer. And dare I say, when you actually set the equalizer up, that this does a really good job of getting the sound that you want with an open ear headset, which is pretty hard to say nowadays. Now, let me just give you my quick experience. So when listening to Juice WRLD or rock music or just different genres in general, even at the higher octave, it didn't break up when I turned it up to the highest, but you could definitely tell that the bass was struggling a little bit at 100%. I don't think that anything should be listened to at 100%, but around I guess the average of 70 to 80 being the loudest of what you should in truth listen to a headset, the sound has been great. The bass sounds good. If I use bass boost or anything like that, it sounds really, really, really good. And I can't wait to try some different equalizer settings. I honestly have nothing bad to say in terms of the quality of music. And now when it comes to listening to this thing with let's say connected to like a Steam Deck or a Nintendo Switch, or even my PC for that matter with a Bluetooth dongle, I think that the connectivity was actually very good. The quality of music when it came to Tetris with the sound effects in the background, the gunshots in Resident Evil to whatever it is that I'm doing, everything just flowed very, very well. And I can honestly say that as a person that likes different types of headphones, this experience is going to be pleasantly well for anyone that buys this. It's not quite in-ear. Obviously, it's not going to beat out your in-ear headsets, but it is going to beat out a lot of other buds that are open ear. And, I stand on that one. The first test that we're going to do right here is an indoor microphone test. Now, and I'm not in a super, super quiet location. You might hear some echoes or things like that because I wanted to give you guys a realistic assessment of how it's going to sound if you're with other people, or let's just say you're in an office building and you just need to make a quick phone call. You need to head to the restroom. You need to step outside your office, but not quite outside. This is the microphone quality that you're going to get. What you're hearing is directly from the V20i's themselves. So with that being said, I do want to compare this to the outdoor test, which is about to come up in the next moment. So I am currently outside right now doing a quick brisk walk downtown Philadelphia to give you guys an idea of how this microphone is going to hold up with a lot more noise. And I want to keep the same voice because there are, not to say trains, there are buses going past, there are cars, birds chirping that I can hear from my side. Hopefully you guys can hear it too. And if this microphone sounds good to you, again, it doesn't block out any of the background noise, in my opinion. Even during phone calls, you are going to be able to hear a lot going on in your background. A higher grade headphone from Soundcore or from another carrier would rectify this problem. But if you're looking for, a cheaper headset like this, which there's nothing wrong with something that's more affordable, just understand that it does come with some drawbacks. So please do keep that in mind. So there's probably going to be a slight delay with the video and the touches, but I'm actually doing this at the same time, so do apologize for the sync up. Now, this is how we actually go through the Soundcore application. As you can see on the side, the buds are outside of the case, so they're currently connected. So we're just going to go to Add Device, hit Allow. It's going to search for whatever headphones that you currently have connected. Right here, you see the V20i. Just going to go ahead and tap that, and this is the application process. It tells you how to actually wear the earbuds. Don't forget that part is adjustable based on ear sizes. But anyway, we're here for the actual settings itself. So the first thing that you're going to see is that it does show you the actual battery life of the buds inside of the application, but it doesn't actually show you the battery life of the case. Only certain devices under Soundcore do that. If you go over to sound effects right here, you have the option for different equalizer settings. So you do have the basic Soundcore signature, balance, bass booster, volume booster, classical. You do have more, and I think it's about 22, well, it's not 22. This one doesn't have as many equalizer settings as some other Soundcore products, but it does have a lot of different equalizer settings that you can see right here. So you will have full customization of your sound. In addition to that, you have the option for custom EQ, which if you log into the application, you can actually customize this yourself and it'll save your settings. Otherwise, if you don't log into it, you'll have to actually change your EQ every single time you switch devices, which could be a pain for some people. Like if you switch on a different phone, it won't remember your old settings unless you sign into the application. And keep in mind, it's 100% free to sign into the application. You have the controls. Now you have left side, and of course you do have right side. And when you tap on either one, you'll see that little icon letting you know which is which. Now the customization is both for the left. It's the same for the left and the right for the most part, but we'll go over that in a moment. Single taps right here, you have the option for volume up, volume down, next song, previous song, pause, play, and none. Those are all the options for single tap. For double tap, it gives you a little bit more. You have voice assistant, colorful lights on and off if you choose to turn it off. I actually like the ambient look for the lights themselves, so I'm actually going to leave them on. I think that's a more defining feature of the headset, but I do understand that some people may not like that, especially if you're at work and you maybe have a headset on. You don't want anybody to know that you're using a headset. But anyway, you have the same options right here. You also have the option for none. And then when you go over to triple taps, same exact options, volume up, volume down, next, previous, pause, play, voice assistance, colorful lights, on and off, and none. And lastly, we have tap and hold, which also has the same options. It looks like everything from double tap, triple tap, and tap and hold is exactly the same. Single tap is the only one that has less options, which, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use, change color lights or voice assistance for a single tap. Now, on the right side, just for people wondering, basically the same exact thing in terms of customization with the double taps, triple taps. All of this is exactly the same as the left side, so keep that in mind. So if you use this in one ear mode, remember, not everyone's going to use it 2 earbuds at the same time. Just remember what your taps are actually going to be. Now, outside of that, you have this option called colorful lights. See what's happening over here with the earbuds? Now, if I turn it off, the lights go off. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about the RGB lights. Personally, I like the pulsating lights on the pause. I like the light color options, put it that way. So let's talk about the 4 ones. Right here, you have lights on, where it's a solid color light. You have flash, where it actually changes right here, where it's flashing. You have music follows, which means that when you play music, it changes differently for musical settings, theoretically. But I normally just leave it on breathing. It's one of my favorite ones right there, where the light just blinks breathing. But music follows music isn't bad either, because the lights are constantly changing, which some people will like that. That's actually a pretty cool setting. If you hit more settings right here, you can actually customize how long the lights stay on with usage and things like that, how bright the lights can actually be. But for right now, I'm just going to that's up to you to decide. Not everyone's going to really care about features like this, but it is available. And also, you have volume balance right here. So if you are more tone deaf in your right ear or your left ear, you have the option of changing how balanced the sound is going to be. That's more so for a person that might have some type of not going to say hearing impaired, but you have some type of hearing issues. You have the voice prompts, which, is optional, let you know when you take it out of the case, it'll talk to you a little bit, let you know that the headset is charged, things like that. You have dual connection. Now, remember earlier in the video when I talked about syncing? When you go to dual connection, this is basically multi-point. If you tap connect new device at the bottom, what'll end up happening is the device will automatically put itself back into pairing mode, and then you get whatever Bluetooth device that you want to connect to that one. Now you can only have 2 devices connected at the same time, simultaneously switching, but you can have multiple devices connected and you could change the sequence of which ones are the primary devices that you want to use for that day or that week or that month. So you do have full customization over the multi-point. Over here you have auto on and off. I normally keep that off, where if the earbuds are outside of the case, after a certain amount of time, they can normally power off on their own. You do have the option of having 10 minutes, 20, 30, 60 minutes. I always keep it off because I take it out of the case. I don't want to put it back in the case and have to take it back out if it automatically powers off. You have the option for find device. Now I'm going to let you know how that sounds. If you tap the right side right now, it's making a beeping noise, as you can see. And it's going to be the same beeping noise on the left-hand side. So if you do lose these buds, I do like the fact that the find device is a little bit louder than other buds, because that's something that needs to be louder so you can be able to hear it. You already see this device name, usage tips. I'm not going to click on that one. Sometimes these buds do need firmware updates, but mine, I already did the update the moment I took it outside of the case. I suggest you guys do the same thing, because once you do the update, you get more options and settings with the way the earbuds are supposed to be over time, and your background will actually look similar to this one. So with that being said, this is a full customization for the V20i's for the application itself. Do apologize to anyone where I got some smudges on it. I know some people complained about that in the past, but it is what it is right now. And let's move on to the next section, basically. So I figured it would be a lot easier to just put them on in real time and show you guys how they look. So this is the bud right here, and it's completely adjustable like I showed you earlier in the video. So you can just pull it out, place it on your ear. It hooks without a problem whatsoever. You can just clip this in based on how close you want the microphones to be to your ear. The closer it is, the more louder it's going to be in terms of quality of sound. And it's a very snug fit. So let me hook this on real fast and I'll do a shake test for you guys. Just to kind of give you an idea of how secure they are. So they're both on my ears, right? Let me just make sure that's hooked in. Here we go. So shake test. Now it does move just a tad bit. So if you're a person that's doing some type of exercise or something, I do notice that it may fall off if you're doing like sit-ups and push-ups, and not push-ups, but sit-ups and deep knee bends and jumping up and down, and running, it seems to be pretty secure for the most part. And like I talked about earlier in this video, if you place the glasses on top of it, see, this actually rubs against the side of my face sometimes, but believe it or not, depending on which pair of glasses I wear, it'll either push this to the side or it'll sit on top of the actual rubber sides of the earbuds themselves, and it'll just sit there. And to be honest with you, I don't really feel any discomfort. The only time I did, if I wore this for like maybe 5 hours, 6 hours at a time, then I felt a little bit soreness, and I just took them out, and then within a few minutes that alleviated any pain that I felt whatsoever. Then I went back to wearing them later on. Just do it within reason. I do want to also say that actually no, there's pretty much nothing else really to say in terms of the fit and feel. Oh, there is one more thing. I scooter to work to and from. For anyone that follows this channel, you probably heard me say that I do that. So I wear a helmet. Now, the only time I really felt pressure on the side of my face was, one, my helmet is pretty tight. So the way it fits on my face, sometimes the helmet might press on the side of the glasses. And because this headset is so thick right here, you might feel some pressure pushing on the sides of your ear if you're wearing like a actual helmet with a face mask. That's what I'm talking about. If you're just wearing a regular bike helmet, obviously that the cutout is going to keep your ears away from the helmet itself, and you should be perfectly fine. But outside of that, it's just a momentary discomfort And overall, I think that this is a pretty good fit, much better than its counterpart, which was the V30i's. So if you can find these for this price at Ross for $24.99, absolutely get them. It's a steal. Even if you pay the $40 or $49 on Amazon for this earbuds, they're really good. Now, when I went to the Soundcore website, for whatever reason, they said $89, but I'm going to give you the link to Amazon so you can get it cheaper, because that seems to be the standard price, roughly about $50. So it's jam-packed with features. You have the IP55, you have the bass up feature. The quality of sound is good enough outside of the box, but anyone that uses the equalizer itself, obviously you're going to get the best quality sound that you can. You have a long battery life, 8 hours inside of the buds, 36 if you include the case total. So that's a pretty decent battery life for a ear hook headset, believe it or not. The drivers, 16mm drivers, four microphones, I believe, inside this. You just have a bunch of features and it works very, very well. You're going to receive app support. You have custom EQs. You have the, what's the thing called? I forget what it's called. Multi-point. There we go. You have all the features that's jam-packed. Now, the only thing that's honestly missing is in-ear detection, which honestly isn't that important in my opinion. You don't have the noise cancellation for obvious reasons. You don't have transparency mode for obvious reasons, because these are an open ear headset, and just kind of keep that in mind. This never goes directly into the ear. It just hovers over it. And one of the best parts, in my opinion, is that when you hook this around your ear, even though this piece is very, very big, it feels comfortable because it holds the weight nice and steady for long-term usage. And it's just a good headset, to be honest with you. Now, I'm glad I got it for the $24.99 now, but for anyone else, I still think it's worth the asking price. Anyway, like and subscribe like always. I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace.